is the pyramids. Um, I find the pyramids honestly kind of weird, just because I honestly don't believe they were built by humans. I know that humans were a big part of it, especially like the Egyptians were a big part of it, but I I just don't think that they did it fully themselves, and a lot of people disagree with that. But you know, I done my research and I looked up kind of just like about how fast they were built, when they were built, and the way they moved all the, like the stones and stuff to the area that they built. But I found out that on average for each stone that they were moving weighed around 2 to 3 tons, which is like 4,000 to 6,000 pounds, which is insane. Like that's a lot, and um, and they were incredibly durable. A lot of them were made from granite, and um, they were they're kind of like they're almost as durable as diamond. On like there's like a scale from like 1 to 10 about how hard they are compared to diamond, and they're on a 7. So, and the reason why that's so weird is because of how straight and like perfectly uh, cut they are. And if you, I don't know if you ever seen pictures, but people have taken rulers that are like perfect 90 degrees and put it against the stone that's on there, and it's like perfect. It's like literally perfect, which doesn't make any sense at all, because it's like they didn't have crazy like measurements and stuff like that. Like every single one of them too. um, but what's even crazier too is that in some special areas where like the thing was where like the what do you call it? I can't remember what the word was, but in special areas in the pyramids, they had some stones that were way bigger than the ones that are on the outside, and those ones weighed freaking 50 to 80 tons. And the way they got those, were they moved them 500 miles away with barges, which I mean, sure, I guess they can, but that just doesn't make any sense. How how can you move something that's that big 500 miles and not have a single problem? But I mean, I'm sure there's tons more like in-depth research, and I would not believe anyone who's tried to like recreate it, like this is how they actually. I don't believe it. The people have videos of them using like the machines that they built in the backyard while moving like concrete blocks. It's like, first of all, they weren't built out of concrete blocks. So obviously they're going to be easier to move than like the actual stones that they use to build them. And what and to get back to how they moved them, there a few ways is that they used wet sand to reduce the friction, wooden sleds and ropes, and simple machines like levers and ramps. And which is like, okay, I mean, I guess. Oh, and they had teams of 20 to 40 people per block that they moved. So it's like it sounds good because of how many people were moving them, because 20 to 40 people, and they weren't slaves too, by the way. Like these were they actually found out that they were paid laborers during that time, because they actually found pay stamps for people who helped build the pyramids. So it's not like they were like decrepit and couldn't move, or like were really weak. But like 20 to 40 people, which is a lot of people, and that's a lot of manpower. So like it makes sense, but just like what makes it even more crazy though, and honestly for me hard to believe, is there's two different places where I heard this from, where they said that they moved about 12 to 13 stones per hour, which, I'm not an expert. I'm not going to say that they didn't, but it doesn't make sense to me, because in other like researchers, what they said is that they had also placed a block every 2 to 3 minutes. One block every 2 to 3 minutes, which obviously doesn't make any sense. Like, that doesn't make any sense. How can you tell me that they moved one block every 2 to 3 minutes with? And I'm sure some of the lighter ones maybe, like I'm sure they probably meant those, but they're not specific. They don't specify it, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, but but what's even crazier is the here. Let me see what are they called? Use here we go. Let's see. So a lot of in the pyramids where they usually like carved onto the walls of the hieroglyphics, there are tons of them that have crazy like etched in stone images that they have. Or I think it was hieroglyphics. I think I said it wrong. Let's see. Hieroglyphics. Yeah, my bad. I said it wrong. It was hieroglyphics. But if you if you look them up and you just look at some of them, there's a few of them that are crazy, because it shows, here it is. I need to figure out how to. Anyways, there's some. I'll show a picture right now. These hieroglyphics where they literally show a helicopter, what looks like a boat, honestly looks like a speedboat. This looks like an airplane. Some of these I'm not sure what they look like, but like that right there, you cannot tell me that they just thought this. That's literally a freaking helicopter, and that's a freaking plane, or like a UFO, like it's like oval shaped. You can't tell me they just thought of it and was like, oh yeah, that would be good. But no, I don't care what anyone says. That right there proves my point, because it doesn't make any sense. And the the biggest thing is, like, these things, they do them from what they saw, because you just like I said, you just can't make that up. During that time, you just can't make up what a helicopter would look like now. Like, it's like us trying to come up with something that looks like a different machine in thousands of years from now. Like, no one can just think of that. No one can just be like, oh, this is what it looks like. Because sure, we can make up something, but how accurate those are to real life machines and real life helicopters and boats. Honestly, it looked like a freaking like a speedboat. But there's so much of these all over the place that seriously just make zero sense. And it's like, it makes you think. Like, it makes you think like, oh, maybe there could be, they could have used, modern technology or futuristic machines to help build these. Because when you try to put it all together, thinking of the people, like the ancient Egyptians on how they did it, it's like, there's just no way. It doesn't make any sense. And what's even crazier too is all three of the pyramids, they all line up perfectly. Like, they line up perfectly with Orion's belt. The three stars in Orion's belt. Like, they've done so many studies on them, and they are seriously perfect. Let me find a picture. Here we go. And and back then too, like they were really crazy good at math. Like they, and I'm sure a lot of it was used with math and and stuff like that. But it's just like how do you get that to be so perfectly without messing it up one time? Like this is a one time build. This isn't like a, oh, let's build it and then, oh, it's not right, and you just can't take something like that all the way down and restart. It took like they said it took 20 to 27 years to build that. For them to get it perfectly like precise to the T with Orion's belt, they'd have to, I feel like they'd have to do it infinite amount of times. Because what kind of technology did they have in order to do it so perfectly first try? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, here, this is one image that shows one of the two biggest ones that are dead center in the freaking middle. And then they show this one up here, the smallest one, that's like, it's off by a little bit, but it's like almost perfect. Like, you can't make that up. Like, how? You don't just look up into the sky and be like, oh yeah, let's build it right there. Like, there's just no way. It doesn't make any sense. Like, all these images don't make any sense. Like, perfectly. But I don't know. You have tons of people saying like, "Oh, this is math. They just did it with math." And I'm not gonna deny that. Like, I know math plays a huge part in this kind of stuff, but like they'd have to have pretty damn advanced math, I feel like, in order to make it so perfect. Like I don't know. That's just what I feel like, honestly. It's like, how do you get it perfect like that without having help from aliens and or extraterrestrials, or it's just stuff like that. And so, like, I don't know, that's just one of my theories that I like to think about a lot. But I think that's it for today, and I will keep doing more, and hopefully this video was a lot better than before, and I'll do some better research for some other theories. But thanks for watching, and I don't know, I'll see you in the next video.